Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. A little over a year ago, I had released a video in which I had reported that the Star Wars films that Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins had been working on had been canceled by LucasFilm. However, one of them may be in the process of being resurrected. But before proceeding, I'd like to ask everyone to please like this video, please subscribe to this channel, and please press the bell to receive notifications. Thanks! In an article that was just published this morning by Variety, Patty Jenkins is saying that she's now back doing the Star Wars movie that's entitled Rogue Squadron. This comes after her Wonder Woman 3 movie fell apart, and she now says that she owes LucasFilm a draft script. This is the last thing that I ever expected to hear about this shelved movie. Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron might not be dead after all. The project, which was centered on fighter pilots in the Star Wars universe, was first announced at the end of 2020 and was put on the calendar for a December 2023 theatrical release. And that date has come and gone. By September 2022, however, Disney had pulled the title from its release schedule. Variety had reported last May that Rogue Squadron was no longer in active development at LucasFilm. But in a new interview on the Talking Pictures podcast, Jenkins announced that she is now once again in development on the script for Rogue Squadron following the dissolution of her planned Wonder Woman 3 at Warner Bros. And DC Studios. Variety has reached out to LucasFilm for comment, and obviously there hasn't been one yet. Jenkins said, quote, "When I left Star Wars to do Wonder Woman 3 and I started working on that, we talked about, well, maybe I'll come back to Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we started a deal for that to happen. When Wonder Woman 3 then went away, LucasFilm and I were like, oh, we've got to finish this deal. We finished the deal right as the strike was beginning, so I now owe a draft of Star Wars. So we will see what happens there. Who knows?" Unquote. Jenkins added about LucasFilm, quote, "They have a hard job in front of them. What's the first movie they're going to do? They have other directors who have been working, but I am now back on doing Rogue Squadron. We'll see what happens. We need to get it to where we're both super happy with it." Unquote. This is certainly a bizarre situation, but it's nothing new for Kathleen Kennedy's incompetent management of LucasFilm. She first announces the Rogue Squadron movie in 2020, then it disappears from the release schedule in 2022. Then it's reportedly no longer in active development as of 2023, to only re-emerge now, nearly a year later. She's either listening or not listening to her favorite prognosticators. Rogue Squadron is still not yet confirmed to be officially happening, but Jenkins is working on a script for it. She said she would be absolutely happy to make it, adding, quote, "The emotion of Star Wars and what it stands for is something so beautiful in this world. If I can do something beautiful and do something that serves that audience, I would love to do it." Unquote. Star Wars was beautiful before Kathleen Kennedy destroyed it with Bob Iger's blessings. What I will say, though, is that it would seem to be difficult to do something even worse than Jar Jar Abrams' dumpster fire of a movie, Star Wars 9, The Rise of Palpatine. Though the upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series, The Acolyte, that's being produced by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, could potentially surpass that movie's repugnance. Patty Jenkins has a mixed track record. She did a great job with the 2017 Wonder Woman movie, but 2020's Wonder Woman 1984 was a dud. Jenkins had been developing a third Wonder Woman movie to star Gal Gadot, which appears to be one reason why the Rogue Squadron movie stalled in the first place. In December 2022, however, news broke that Wonder Woman 3 had fallen apart after Warner Bros. Leadership passed on Jenkins' treatment for the sequel. Jenkins publicly exited the project shortly after news hit that James Gunn and Peter Safran took the reins of DC Studios and announced that they would be overhauling the DC universe, which led to speculation that Jenkins had rebuffed efforts to reshape Wonder Woman 3 to fit into their DC universe. Quote, "I never walked away," unquote, Jenkins shared in a post on Twitter at the time. Quote, "I was open to considering anything asked of me. It was my understanding there was nothing I could do to move anything forward at this time. DC is obviously buried in changes they are having to make, so I understand these decisions are difficult right now." Unquote. Roughly an hour after Jenkins posted her statement, Gunn supported her on Twitter, replying, quote, "I can attest that all of Peter and my interactions with you were only pleasant and professional." Unquote. Jenkins said, quote, "They aren't interested in doing any Wonder Woman for the time being. It's not an easy task with what's going on with DC. James Gunn and Peter Safran have to follow their own heart and do their own plans. I don't know what they are planning on doing or why, so I have sympathy for what a big job it is, and they have to follow their heart and do what they've got planned." Unquote. While it's difficult to know whether Rogue Squadron is actually back, IMDb has changed the status of their listing for the movie to "in development." And if it does ultimately get produced, I won't be surprised if it ends up having another female-centric plot, since that's the only thing that Kathleen Kennedy is interested in producing. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.